The story takes place in the near future in the Republic of Gilead. After some horrifying events, a family of 3 is forced to secretly flee the country. They reach the bordering forest and continue on foot. The little girl complains to her parents about tiredness, but they are convinced that rescue is close. Suddenly, the border patrol notices the family. The father tries to distract the soldiers, but they quickly subdue them.
I'll keep him busy!
His wife, named Kate, rushes to him, but she can't help him anymore. Then Kate attempts to return to her daughter, but the soldiers capture her. The girl wanders in the snow and futilely calls for her mother. Kate is sent to a very dreadful place. She has no idea of the cruel punishment the soldiers have prepared for the fugitives. Kate is brought to a camp where women capable of childbirth are separated from the capable. By law, they are forced to become natal servants and are not allowed to own property, handle money, study, have careers, or even to read. The infertile women are sent to concentration camps as disposable biomatters.
You've made a mistake! I know! Please!
Kate seems to have luck. She's capable of conceiving a child. She ends up in a special colony led by a woman who introduces herself as Aunt Lydia.
You're going to be handmaids. You're going to serve God and your country.
But what terrible fate has befallen the United States, causing everyone to forget human rights so abruptly? On the way to the colony, Kate meets a girl named Moira. Kate recounts her attempt to escape the Gilead dictatorship with her family across the border. Moira, in turn, reveals that she is attracted to women and has no desire to bear children for men. However, no one asks these women for their opinions. If they become disobedient, they face severe punishment. At night, the women are left to sleep in a large hall at the camp, under constant surveillance. Strict religiosity is observed here. Before sleeping, the women pray and ask to be blessed with children. Some of them are on edge.
Stop it! Why do you think God made you a woman?
What do you think? Is giving birth to children a duty or a choice for women? Share your thoughts in the comments. Throughout the night, Kate worries about her daughter, who got lost at the border. In the morning, the women in the camp are forced to take unknown pills, and the dissenters are punished. It turns out that Gilead has been at war with neighboring countries for many years. The air is contaminated with radiation, and many women have lost the ability to give birth. Those who can still give birth are decided to be used for the state's interests. Special bracelets are put on these women in the camp, preventing them from escaping. After that, Aunt Lydia takes Kate to Commander Fred Waterford, who belongs to the ruling elite and key player in the formation of Gilead. He has a wife who cannot bear a child, and Kate has to fulfill this function. She's also required to treat the commander's wife with respect.
Remember, you're not her equal. You're a handmaid. That is your role in life.
During the conversation, Kate looks out the car window. Men are being forcefully loaded onto trucks and taken to war. Kate can't imagine how she will survive in this insane country. In the commander's house, Kate meets his wife, Serena. Serena wants to see Kate as rarely as possible. Kate is not allowed to leave the room often. When the commander leaves for the front, Kate will have to go to the camp with other girls. Kate returns to the camp. Here, at a public trial, one of the girls is coerced into confessing that she was once violated, and she had to get rid of the child. The other frightened girls condemn her and shout that she's to blame. Kate is horrified by these events.
I'm going crazy. This is a fucking Looney Bin.
Do you think it's possible to forcibly deprive hundreds of people of empathy in our world? After the trial, Kate goes to the restroom, where Moira awaits her. Kate reveals that she's leaving for the commander's house tomorrow. Moira loses her composure over this. Kate has become her friend, and the separation is hard for her. Moira herself is not wanted in the house. She plans to take advantage of this and find a way to escape the camp. She first plans to fake a seizure and get to the hospital. The next day, the girls from the camp put on long red dresses and prepare for their initiation as concubines for wealthy commanders. Barren wives of the commanders attend the ceremony. A priest delivers a sermon about the necessity of bearing children for the country. At this moment, Moira pretends to faint and is taken away. Kate, however, goes through the entire initiation ritual.
I pronounce you handmaids in the sight of God. Amen.
At this moment, she recalls her family, taken away by the dictatorial, religiously fanatical regime. The commander's assistant named Nick takes Kate to her new home. She notices his interested gaze, but still doesn't realize how dangerous it is to trust anyone in the commander's house. Serena then shows Kate her room and assigns her a new name, Offred, meaning belonging to her husband Fred. Losing her real name, Kate completely loses control over her life. In despair, she lies down on the bed and thinks about her little daughter.
Mommy!
In the evening, the women watch television together. There's a report about a secret camp with women and children discovered by Gilead forces. A rebel organization named Mayday tried to smuggle women out of the country. Authorities cannot allow this, as there would be no one left to give birth to new servants. The commander, Fred, enters the room. He recites a story from the Old Testament about a woman who was barren, and then her husband had contact with her handmaid to continue the line. After this, a very strange act of intimacy begins with Serena present. When it's over, she cries and orders Kate to clean up and go to her room. Kate is in a terrible state. She's distraught, crying, and trying to wash away with water everything she just endured. Undressing, she opens the window to get some air. She's noticed by Nick, who discreetly advises her to hide. It seems Nick is on Kate's side and ready to cover for her. In the morning, Kate regains herself, and she's sent to the store with a neighbor servant named Offlin, belonging to her master Glenn. In the store, everyone overhears their conversation, therefore the girls have to hide their true feelings. On the street, they notice a pregnant handmaid, and everyone present applauds her. Kate can't bear this. At night, she leaves her room and finds scissors. Kate wants to harm herself and end her suffering. But then Nick enters the room. He kisses Kate, and she responds to his tenderness. Nick asks her to come to the commander's office tomorrow evening. This unexpected turn gives Kate hope. During their next trip to the store, Kate tries to find out from Offlin what happened to the previous Offred, but she pretends not to know anything. Meanwhile, Fred asks Serena what she thinks of the new handmaid. Serena seems to think Kate is a good choice. If Serena becomes unhappy with anything, she will send Kate back to the camp, where punishment awaits her. In the evening, Nick brings Kate to Fred's office. She regards the man warily while he tries to be friendly.
I thought I'd like to get to know you a little.
Get to know me.
Fred wants to break that ice between him and Kate and suggests they play Scrabble. Kate is surprised but agrees. In the end, she wins. Fred treats her to strawberries and doesn't make any advances. Serena is unaware of this meeting, and the next day, she interacts kindly with Kate. She promises to find out about Kate's daughter's fate. Kate is very grateful to Serena. Soon, Fred goes off to the front, and Kate returns to the camp. Here, she is examined by a doctor. In 3 months, she hasn't become pregnant. The doctor is convinced the problem is with Fred and offers personal assistance to Kate in conception. After all, if a handmaid doesn't conceive, she'll be considered defective and disposed of. Kate refuses the help, but the doctor continues to intimidate her.
It's the wives you have to look out for. They don't like you girls hanging around the house.
Kate remains steadfast, not realizing yet how right her decision is. At the camp, Kate meets Marta. She wasn't able to escape from the hospital, but she has a new plan. At night, Maura lures Aunt Lydia into the bathroom under the pretext of a leaking pipe. Kate also rushes to the bathroom. The girls blindfold and gag Aunt Lydia and tie her to the toilet bowl. Then Maura dresses up as Aunt Lydia's and leaves the camp freely. Kate returns to the commander's house once more. They continue their secret meetings and enjoy the company of each other. Fred is very kind to her and brings her fashion magazines. Kate asks Fred to get her hand cream, and he agrees enthusiastically. Attempts to conceive a child continue, and Serena notices Fred's fondness for Kate. In a private meeting, the handmaid expresses her fears to Fred about Serena.
She can do whatever she likes. She could have me sent to the colonies.
Fred believes it's time for Kate to become pregnant. The previous offer failed, and her life ended. Kate isn't pleased with such prospects. The next day, Serena invites Kate to talk. Serena realizes her husband is sterile and advises Kate to secretly conceive a child with someone she can trust. Serena's choice falls on Nick. At night, Kate sneaks into Nick's room and he's very happy to see her.
Have you come to do your duty for the fatherland?
Kate and Nick have liked each other since the beginning and they spend a great and productive time together. Afterward, the happy woman returns to her room. Serena prefers this option more than involving her husband. The next day, Serena gives Kate a photograph of her daughter. With trembling hands, Kate opens the envelope and admires her little girl.
When can I see her? That's impossible.
The girl now lives with a wealthy family and supposedly has forgotten Kate. But Kate can't just sit idle. In the middle of the night, she goes to Nick and tells him that she wants to see her daughter. Nick reassures her, but he doesn't yet know how to help her. Soon, one of the commander's handmaids goes into labor. This is considered a big celebration, attended by all in the vicinity, handmaids, wives, and the soldiers' children. Kate tries to find her daughter in the crowd, but the girl is nowhere to be seen. As soon as the handmaid gives birth, they immediately take the baby away from her and give it to the soldier's wife. In shock, the mother tries to reclaim her child, but she's no rights. Meanwhile, Auckland encourages Kate to learn more about the commander. There's an underground resistance community secretly fighting for people's freedom. Information about Fred will be useful to them. In the evening, Kate goes to Fred and asks him to tell her about himself. Once upon a time, he was at the forefront of those who cleaned out the country of undesirables.
I had a family and a job I was good at. I didn't need cleaning up.
The commander speaks ambiguously about the country and the people. In his opinion, at some point, everyone lost the ability to believe and feel. Society is organized by power-hungry leaders along with militarized and religious regime and newly created social classes. Fred believes that those like him manage to restore respect, order, and values. The next day, the handmaids are brought to participate in a punishment. They gather on the platform and watch as a guilty handmaid is led to the podium. She supposedly had a relationship with the doctor to conceive. They put a noose around her neck and ordered the handmaids to pull the rope. They dare not disobey. Kate feels awful holding the rope. Next, a man is brought to the platform who had a relationship with a pregnant handmaid. The crowd of handmaids descends upon him and tears him apart. Auckland knows that the man's sentence is false.
He was no rapist. He was a political. One of our best men.
Then Auckland reveals that Fred is responsible for the state's security and is the ultimate scoundrel. Suddenly, an explosion occurs on the street. Soldiers arrive immediately and start shooting. The handmaids fall to the ground. Auckland instructs Kate to kill Fred. In the evening, Kate visits the commander. He asks her to put on a dress and bow. In this attire, they go together to a nightclub. The women working here as dancers, waitresses, and seductresses once had entirely different professions. However, now, according to Fred's perspective, their lives have improved. Kate notices Maura in the crowd. The girls talk in the bathroom, and Maura tells Kate that she was caught at the border trying to escape. She was given two options: go to the death camps or work in the brothel. Maura chose the latter.
It's not so bad, really. You get free face cream here. Free booze, free drugs, you only work nights.
After the conversation with her friend, Kate realizes how lucky she is. She dances with the commander and then goes with him to a room. Fred doesn't give her a chance to refuse intimacy. Finally, they finish and return to the car with Nick. The whole group returns home. When the commander leaves, Nick feigns jealousy. But Kate had no other choice. She asks Nick to give her out of the country as soon as possible because she's pregnant with his child and she doesn't want to give the commander their child. But Nick can't promise anything concrete. Before bed, Kate finds a knife and a note from Auckland in her locker. Tomorrow evening, she will have to deal with Fred. In the morning, Kate wants to find Auckland to get more details. But Auckland has been replaced with a new girl. Clearly something terrible has happened to her. Meanwhile, Serena finds a bow in Kate's room. She's disappointed in Kate and will likely take action.
So vulgar. We had an agreement.
Kate has nothing to say in her defense. From the TV broadcast, Kate learns that Fred intends to eliminate all rebel forces in the state. Perhaps because of him, the previous Auckland disappeared. Kate sits in her room with the lights off and prepares for the most desperate act of her life. Late at night, she goes to Fred's office uninvited. She asks him to talk to his wife, that she won't harm Kate. But Fred has no power over Serena and can't help. Before leaving, He kisses Kate and thanks her. Suddenly, Kate takes out a knife and injures Fred's neck. After that, she hides in her room. Military personnel quickly arrive at the house to arrest Kate. She surrenders without resistance. Serena comes out of the room demanding an explanation. That was Nick who called the military, and Kate sees him as a traitor.
Fucking bastard! You bastard! You bastard!
Outside, Nick informs Kate that they aren't ordinary soldiers. They are rebels here to save her. They all get into a car and leave quickly. Serena goes to her husband's office and screams in horror. In the car, Kate gets rid of her red dress and bracelet. Near the border, the lovers get out of the car. Now they have to part ways. Trusted individuals will get Kate across the border, and Nick still has some unfinished business in Gilead. Kate is horrified at the thought of leaving her beloved behind, but there is no other choice. Nick kisses her, promises to write and find her daughter. After that, the lovers go their separate ways. The city announces a curfew. The military bombs the rebels' hideouts and tries to eliminate them. Finding Kate and her allies is a top priority now.
We will search for them, we will find them, we will hang them.
Several months pass. Kate lives safely in the mountains, carrying her baby. The rebels bring her food and letters from Nick. Kate believes in the best and doesn't lose hope of finding her daughter. It was the movie The Handmaid's Tale. In my opinion, the movie is very relevant in our time when people talk a lot about human rights, but constantly violate them. Moreover, the story allows us to see how horrifying totalitarianism is and how it distorts religion to control people. And what do you think about the movie and women's rights? Do you think surrogate motherhood will ever become mandatory? Let's discuss this in the comments.